All right, okay. So I think basically we have two talkers or two resource persons today.
Someone else can
Because
start
of
before
time,
me if you want.
can I welcome to the stage Tari Isaac?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Hi, Isabel. My name is Tari Isaac, like he said. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the Global Talent Visa. I'm just going to start with my journey as I came to the UK first, and then I'll go over the whole process of, starting the Global Talent hustle, and then take it from there. So I came on a student visa back in 2018. I was doing my master's in journalism in John Moores here. And then already before that time, I had like a fashion business, but I wasn't even serious about it, to be honest. I used to school in Ghana, so I was doing it back in Ghana. Then I left Ghana to Nigeria and then to the UK. So when I came to the UK, I had it in the back of my mind that I was going to, try and see if I can start the business all over again here. So after my dissertation and everything, it's a master's degree. During that time, I was thinking what my next step would be, because the post-study visa, I don't think it was there around then. But my brother was already here, and he was talking about the startup visa. I think Omar knows a lot about that because we all went to the same uni. So I think it was one day I followed my brother to the meeting that they normally have for entrepreneurs. So I met the woman, her name is Emma, and she was in LGMU. And then, so I asked her if there's any slot for the startup people to take more. And she was like, oh no, all the slots are gone, but I started explaining what I do. She now said, oh, okay, she can just slot me in there. So I was like, okay, fair enough. And then we did the meeting. But for the startup, there's a lot of things to do. And to you do a business plan, you try and pitch your ideas to them. And if they agree, then they will endorse you. So we did the whole entrepreneurship hub process. They'll take you through, they will teach you, try to really engage you and build up your business idea. There was this lady that time, she was very difficult, Claire. So she tried to get the best out of you. She was quite nice, but she was quite irritated as well, to be honest. But at the end of it, you really build out your clear vision of what you want and everything. So at the end of that intense 3 weeks program, then I came up with like a clear business idea. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then they said I have to pitch to them now. And I said, okay. So I didn't know it was that deep. But they were like, yeah. So I went and I pitched, and they were happy with it. And then they endorsed me for a startup visa. And that startup was for 2 years. It was under the tier. What tier is it under? Tier 1. And then they will endorse you for that. So under 2 years, when I was on startup visa, that's when I started the grind. Because you have to make sure that you're really, because it was the fashion industry, you have to make sure that things are happening, your business is growing, people are getting to know you. So I think 2 years startup, I did what I could do. And then I think the final 4 months while I was on the startup visa, Omar was like, what are you going to do after? And I was like, I have no clue. And then he's like, there's a girl called Chamini in our group. And she was going for this Global Talent at the time. So he was like, oh, get to know her and see if you can do that as well, because it's also fashion design. I was like, I've never heard of Global Talent before. He was like, oh, just go and search. So I went on the UKVI website and I had a look. And I was like, oh, okay. The things they were asking for was a bit overwhelming, but so then I did everything and then I got the endorsement. So now let me go over to what exactly Global Talent is. So for people that are interested. So Global Talent is not only for like fashion design. So it's like 3 different categories. So you have the arts and culture. So under arts and culture, you have the fashion designers, the writers, the painters. Those are the 3. And then you have your arts and culture there, and then you have your researchers. So for your researchers, to be honest, that one is a bit complicated because you have to have you have to have a job from an institution that is accredited. So as a researcher, or you have to have a grant, the government has to give you money to do this research, and then they would allow you to be on the global talent. And then you now have the IT guys, the science people, the engineers. So that's the next one. So that one, if you also have a job and you have an endorsement, so that one you can go. But I don't focus on those other two aspects because I don't really know much about science or research. So I focus on only the arts and the culture. But if you go on the UKVI website, everything is written there, so you can have a look. If maybe IT is what you're interested in, that one too is possible. You can either get a job, or maybe you've been doing IT for a while, digital, and you've been doing your things and you've been making progress. So that one too is a possibility. But the one that I know is the arts and culture one, because when I got mine, I also helped other people get theirs as well, which is what I'm doing now. So for global talent, so the first thing you need to do about global talent is you can get a visa for up to 5 years. And it's very easy. It's a visa that nobody is calling you to find you what you're doing or anything of that nature. You can bring your dependents. You can change your job without telling the Home Office. You can work for yourself as well as work for a company as well. So it's very flexible. And then you can always renew your visa and renew it as long as you meet the criteria. But after 5 years, you can decide to go for the indefinite leave to remain, which would be more ideal instead of renewing and paying IHS fee all over again. So global talent is in 2 stages. The first stage is getting your endorsement from the endorsing body. And the second stage is the visa itself. Can I sit down?
Yeah, please.
And the second stage is the visa itself. So the main focus is the endorsement. Because when you get your endorsement, your visa is 100% assured. So for arts, if you want to get your endorsement, you need to get endorsed by the British Fashion Council or the Arts Council. So if you're a writer, you need to meet the criteria to get endorsed by the Arts Council. If you're a fashion designer, you need to meet the requirements and be endorsed by the British Fashion Council. Now, there are certain things you need to meet. You need to get 3 letters of recommendation from people that are experts in the field, people that have been in the industry longer than you, people that are well recognized. So you need to get 2 from your home country and 1 from the UK. With the recommendation letter, they have to have known you for a time, but to be honest, you don't really need to go back that far with people. If they trust you and they know you, or they have somebody that recommends you that they trust, they will ideally give you the letter. You just have to, do the necessary things. So now, if you get 2 letters from your home country from people that are experts that the British fashion knows, let's say for fashion design, let's say people like Yemi Casual or Maya Tafo, people of that sort, that that can give you a letter, perfect, you can take from them. In the UK, if you know anybody, which is quite rare because most people don't know anybody in the UK as we're immigrants. So what you normally do is, what I tell people to do to get a letter, you can just do all these local fashion shows that we have and just like pay for a slot, do a collection, do it there, and just get a letter from the organizer, and just the organizer to say they know you've done the show, you've presented your pieces, and they're happy to recommend you because they know you have exceptional talent. That's it. So if you can get that one in the UK and get 2 in Nigeria, the recommendation letters are sorted. Now, after the recommendation letter, they expect you to have up to 10 pieces of evidence to show your exceptional talent or to show your exceptional promise. So the global talent has 2 categories, like I mentioned earlier. So it has either you're a leader or you're a potential leader. So if you're a potential leader, you're not established. You're just getting your foot in the door, but there's potential for you to be a leader in the field. That's the one I am under. For a leader, you already have like stock case, your name is everywhere, you're there. Those ones, they only need to be on the visa for 3 years, and after that they get their indefinite leave to remain. But for potential leaders, you have to be on the visa for 5 years, and then after that you have your option to do indefinite leave. Now you need to show that you've got 10 pieces of evidence to show that you're an exceptional promise or talent that they would willing to endorse. Now, for you to do that, it needs to meet 4 different categories. The first category is media recognition. The second is industry recognition. The third is proof of sales. And the fourth is support and sponsorship. Out of these 4, you only need to meet 2. So they've made it easy. So out of that 4, you only need to meet 2 out of the 4. So let me break it down in a way everybody can understand. So let's say media recognition now in your home country. You can just get like newspaper or online articles to write something about you and your brand. And you get, let's say, 4 different articles out. That's 4 evidence under media recognition. And then you've got another thing called industry recognition. That one is just to get letters from people that have bought from you or people that you've styled in the industry. Let's say if you've worked with a stylist to style someone, it might seem overwhelming, but you might not even have actually worked with a stylist. But if you know any stylist or you know people in the industry, you can just say, oh, can you just write me a letter saying that you know me and you've worked with me? So if you get, let's say, an additional 4 type of letters like that, with pictures to just say, yes, this is the person I styled. You get 4 of that, and then you get the articles 4 for under media recognition. That is a total of 8 evidence now. And then the last evidence that you would want to get is proof of sales. Because you want to show that you're making money. You want to show that people are buying from you. You want to show that people are buying into your products. So for that one as well, you can run it, to be honest. Everything is workable. So you can get a website, get everything. I always tell every single person to get a website, because if you say you sell from social media, one day TikTok is not there, or Facebook is not there, or Instagram is not there, what would you do? Where are your customers going to come from? So you need to get a website. That's number 1. And that way you can even show that you could get your friends and family to just go and order stuff, and then you tell them, don't worry, I'll give you the money back. But it's just to show that there is sales going through that system. So you can just screen grab that and send as an evidence or proof of sales. So you can get maybe proof of sales from your home country, people buying, and then people from the UK that you can just order, and then proof of sales UK. That is 2 proof of sales accompanied with the other 8. That is what, 9 times. So that's your 10 pieces of evidence. And after you get your 10 pieces of evidence and your letters of recommendation that you got, the 3 ones, you put everything together and you apply for your endorsement. So that's straight to the point. It's the same thing for writers or artists, the people that are painters or sculptors or anything, or the people that are just coming up being writers. It's the same thing. For the arts and culture, the system is the same. And also, you don't need to be a business owner. You can decide, you can be working for a fashion house and people just know you because of that, or you can be a stylist. You don't have to own your own business. You can be working for someone, you maybe even a fashion illustrator, but you've got people that know you, that have worked with you, all that, and then you can put it there. For writing, my twin brother just recently got his. He had 6 months to prepare. So what we did was get him involved in like a local organization here in Liverpool. He volunteered with them for roughly 1 month. Got in contact with them, really pushed, volunteered. You know these people, you have to be involved. Volunteered, and then got letters from people in that industry that were like experts or leaders. And then when he got 2 from here, and then he got 1 from Nigeria. But you know, Nigeria, you always have connections. You always have one person that knows one person to give you a letter. And that's how he got his letter of recommendations. And then for his evidences, he applied for all these little small competitions, small ones, like writing competitions, poetry, anything. He just got involved to say that he's got involved. And then he did these little things where he might go and perform his poetry. And he just put that as evidence of, industry recognition, to show that he's going out there and he's talking and he's writing. And then he had another, for the writing one, everything is there. It's similar to the fashion design one. This is the arts and culture category. Those ones are pretty straight to the point. But if you want to do digital, that one you have to go and find a job, JJ. Again, maybe you've been in IT for a while, or you go and find a job, or you find something, maybe you've been working on an app, or you've been working on something. It just needs to show that you've been making progress and you've been doing this thing for a while. and then you get people that know you in that industry that are experts, and you get the letter. For research, find job. For research, I think today I was reading up about research, and I think it's even fairly easier than IT, because for research, if you, let's say you get a lecturing job, and then maybe you're teaching in one of the accredited things that they've said, you're good to go. So for research and IT, you don't really need to have those bulk of evidences as the way arts and culture is. You just need to find job. When you find job, you're okay. And so after you get those evidences and you apply, if you apply from outside the UK, the good thing about this visa is you don't need to show bank statements. You don't need to show any of those things. So when you apply for your endorsement and it is successful, the endorsement fee is 608, is it? 6 something, but they divide it into 2. So when you're applying for the endorsement, they would split the fee for you. So you pay 452 just to apply, and the remaining 149, the remaining 149 when you apply for the visa itself. That is the only fee that is attached to the Global Talent. The other thing that you're paying is IHS fee. So IHS fee is the only expense really that you need to budget for. So if you can't afford, and we all know the IHS fee is 624. If you can't afford 5 years, because then you have to times 624 times 5, you have the option to do 2 years or 3 years first. And then after that, after the 2 or 3 years, you feel like you want to renew. Like I said, you can renew to your heart's content. You can renew it. So you can break it down. I did 3 years because that 5 years, the fee was feeing. So after that, and then I haven't renewed now, to be honest, because I had 2 years on startup, so I think I'm good to go. But my friend that did it before me, she has renewed hers. So for the renewal process, it's fine. So if you don't have that money for 5 years, you can do 3 years and just stay like that. So it takes 8 weeks for a decision to be made if you're successful or not, if the endorsing body deems you fit for the visa, or sorry, for the endorsement. 8 weeks. So after 8 weeks, if you hear from them and it's positive, you go ahead and apply for your visa itself, and you pay your IHS fee and all that. If you're in the UK and you apply, it takes 2 days for your visa to come out. But if you're in Nigeria, it takes 3 weeks. Now, endorsement waiting period can be daunting because it really is 8 weeks. Like, that's 2 months. But you just have to be patient. Now, if your endorsement was rejected, if it was denied, if they don't feel like you meet it, you can appeal. You can appeal with a lawyer. The good thing with that is if they reject it, they will give you a full-blown reason why they did, and you can just work on that. Literally, just work on it and reapply. Or if you feel like, no, they're chatting shit, you can just say, get a lawyer and just tell them that, no, this and this. I had a client recently that we did everything right, every single thing, and just because the person that gave her a recommendation letter forgot to add her signature, but she put her logo and everything, they denied her. And I was like, no. So we got a lawyer, and they appealed, and the next day they offered her the endorsement. So you can appeal. But if the situation is you need to improve on something, at least you've got that letter to say that, okay, this is the area I need to improve. So yeah, that's everything really, and you should be fine afterwards. So if you're interested in it, you can ask all the questions in the world and I'll answer.
Thank you.
Yes.
So if I'm a tailor, I can get this Global Talent visa.
If you're so yeah, I even forgot to mention one very important part. You need to have been in the industry for at least 5 years. Yeah, if you've not been in the industry for at least 5 years, you need to show that your idea or your tailoring or your fashion business is moving. I don't know how to explain it, but you need to show that something is happening. Most people come to me and they've abandoned the business for 14 years, and just because they've heard that, oh, Global Talent, then they'll just say, oh, I'm a tailor. No. You need to be doing something. Even if you've been in the industry only 2 years, the fact that you're consistent with the work, that is good to go. But if you're a tailor and you don't have anything to show that you're a tailor, you don't have a website, you don't have any good social media that you're engaging, then you need to work on all that first before you now start that you want to apply.
Okay, now what about the student that is a tailor, learning fashion design?
So for students that are doing fashion design here in the UK, students that are doing fashion design here in the UK, absolutely brilliant, because you can get a letter from your department head, because most of them have already gotten some kind of expatriate or so they say. But the thing with that one is students are not allowed to go directly into global talent. So this is what I do for people that are students that don't want to go into into post-study. So what I tell them to do is, okay, it's fine, finish your degree, and when you finish, apply for your endorsement immediately, not the visa. Apply for the endorsement immediately. You can even go back to your home country and just wait. And then when they give you the endorsement, you apply for the visa. That way you're not switching, you're applying. So you're not allowed to switch, but you can apply for a student visa. Do you understand me? Switching is when you're in the UK and then you're switching directly. But if you decide to go to your home country, while you just wait for you can even decide to apply for the endorsement while you're here and get the results and everything. And then go to your home country knowing fully well that you've gotten an endorsement and you can get a visa. You go to your home country, your UK visa expires, then you just apply for your endorsement literally the next day. You can decide to go to your home country the day that your visa is ending and just put an application through and wait the 3 weeks and come back because you know it's going to be successful. So you're not allowed to switch, but you can definitely apply as a student as long as you meet all the requirements. For students, I tell them not to do proof of sales because you're not allowed to do any business transaction. But like I said, you only need to meet 2 out of the 4. So you can decide to meet media recognition and industry recognition, and that is it.
I want to add something to the guy that asked about research, because I am also doing research. I also research about the global talent. As a researcher, if you're a researcher, you actually have advantage. It's very easy, like you said before.
Yes, it's easier than everyone.
But I think the minimum requirement for UK is that you must have at least 2 publications. And these publications must be in a recognized journal. So if you have at least 2 recognitions, then you can apply for the endorsement. And you supervise, if you have a supervisor or you have a lab, if you understand what I mean. If you have done a publication before, you have a lab. A lab is where you have professors that you've worked with or professor colleagues or like student colleagues. These are renowned guys in your field who have series of publications. Some of them could be editor. So if those guys can actually attest to the fact that you work with them, then you can get your endorsement. But the challenge in UK, Australia and Canada, they have almost the same thing for the global talent. One of my questions, you've answered them. When I heard about the global talent, I was very interested in it.
Before you leave that aspect, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Publication, does it have to be inside when you were in the UK?
No. I say in a recognized journal. You know, when you publish in a journal.
Before you enter the
Anywhere.
But then.
If you wrong that.
No. Just like. Sorry. Just like. You know.
Even though you are the 10th author in the 2.
Yes. Listen.
Can I say something as well? You can actually contribute to a body of work. So you don't have to be like maybe in a work that you've done and it's published and you're contributing. It doesn't have to be only you. It's on the website.
Yeah, actually in publication, most of the best publications, actually, if you want to publish, I am doing mathematics anyway.
Okay.
So in mathematics, you have journals that are for men, journals for young people, journals for babies, and everybody know. When you publish, you see the journal, the point of journal. The highest is 7. Do you understand? The point. Then if you publish in a journal that have 6 point something, 5 point something, it's strong. So when you have that publication, even though your name is mentioned there, because like I said, in publication, strong ones anyway, you only contribute little. There is one I am part of. We did the publication, right? What did I do? I only modified. when we were doing the stuff, there is one particular aspect of equation that, if you look at it, it cannot be solved. It's not possible. Like, it's not, I don't understand. I don't know how to say it. You can't evaluate it.
Yeah.
So, no, like, it's not
It's okay.
integrable.
Yeah, but you work
But
out.
then when we were discussing it,
Yeah.
I did it, and my supervisor now asked a question. But this thing is not integrable. Like, it's not possible. It will diverge. Then he now said I should go and do it. Then when I did it, then we have 2 cases as a result of that. And that is all my contribution.
But your name was written that you contributed.
I'm the second person on the list.
So you did.
But what I'm saying is that what did I do? It's about 32 pages. But that is all I understand in that aspect. So in publication, like if you are working with senior guys, like I say, renowned guy, you know multiples of what you know. What will you say? But if you are privileged to be part of it, all you just need to do is for your name to be as among the others.
Yeah.
Whether you are the last or the first. One of my lab members, anytime we want to talk about publications, he put his name last, but he's the best. Like, you understand what I mean? He doesn't care where his name comes from. Here, to be honest, in publication, do not care what your name, where your name comes from. The only person that his name comes first is the person. Sorry, I'm talking too much. I'm not the facilitator.
No.
The person. So because we are learning, and in case you don't know, somebody wants to take advantage of it. Because of lecturers are wicked. The only person that his name must come first is the person that initiates the idea. The person that brings the topics. Suppose somebody can bring a topic and doesn't know much about it anyway. He have an idea, but the expansion, how to make it simple, simplified for people to know, is other people's contributions. So that person that brings it is his idea. So he has that reserve right for his name to come first. Every other person can follow. Then, so if you have at least 2 publications in a recognized journal, and they do STEM actually, well, the one I know is STEM. Is it science, technology, like that, mathematics, engineering? Yeah, engineering, mathematics. So if you are in that group, yes, yeah, you have an advantage. Yeah, so, but you need publication in a recognized journal. Thank you.
So this is the point of reference for any science or research
I still have
questions.
another question.
For him, yeah?
No, for you.
Oh.
So, for example, now I'm a tailor, but I don't have any online presence. How long will it take me to like build those presence and get all the required?
It depends.
Let's not just tailor, maybe photographer, sculptor.
Photographer, no, they're part of this. No, they're part of it.
But anything arts and fashion, like
Yeah.
let's say I just want to start afresh. How long does it need? Will I need to like build?
It depends
evidence?
on you, really. It really depends on you and how aggressive you are with.
So let's say I'm starting from scratch. Can I apply in 6 months time?
In 6 months, yeah, it's doable. 6 to 10 months, I would say. If you're really starting from the bare minimum.
Okay, if I'm starting from the bare minimum now and I don't know what to do, like who can I get access to? Who should I ask the question? Or is there a service that I can pay for?
Yeah. So I offer full one-on-one service for every creative because that's the area that I know. So full service for that one is 2,500 from beginning to end. Getting an endorsement letter, recommendation letter, getting fashion shows, getting a stockist. I can even get you a stockist in the UK to just show that you have wholesale proof of sales. Get you media recognition, just help you with everything. But bear in mind, I only offer my support and knowledge. I'm not going to go over and beyond and write your letters for you. I'll give you samples and show you everything that you need to do. And maybe edit it if needs be, but I'm not going to write it from scratch. But that is the service that I offer. Everything included 2,500. But if you beg me, there is a possibility of discount.
What's the unit of that?
2,500. Not in pounds. in pounds. So yeah, 2,500 for everything beginning to end. I have a client from Ghana. She's exactly what he just mentioned, but we did everything beginning to end. But the thing about this creative aspect is you need to know at least more people in your home country. We need to have a network of people that we can dig deep and see which one will give you. Because for the UK one, we can both work on that because there are different things that we can do. But in that Nigeria, you need to have like a network of people that we can reach out to and see how we can do things to make the recommendation less as possible.
Last question, sorry. What if I can't afford 2005 and I'm not sure about what I want to move forward? Do you have like a cheaper service for students or?
No, it's cheaper than for students, but the thing that I do, but what I do is the payment is not one big sum or no. I split it out for everybody into 4 payments. So you can drag it out every month, or some people that I've even said every 2 months. So that's how we're doing it. So I'm not going to just push 2,500 on you just like that. Yeah. So you can spread it out.
I have a question. So my question is, for some of us, we switch fields. You understand?
So what field were you in before?
I was in medical field before, but I'm in IT field now. You understand? So if I was to go for this global talent visa, I would want it to be in
IT.
IT.
How long have you been doing IT?
A year plus now.
For the IT ones, I'm really not the best person, but I've got a lady, but her fee no be yo. But she has like billions of success stories, like billions, and she worked with you personally, and it would be like a 6 months intense kind of stuff. She's Korean, and she herself was in Global Talent, and then now she's doing this thing full time. That's her full-time job now. So if it's IT, it's always referral to her.
My question regarding
Media publication.
media visibility stuff. Okay. So you said it could be social media or newspapers, right?
For social media, if you want to use a social media platform, it has to be a very recognized one. Let's say, like a very recognized, let's say Fashion Bomb Daily that has like 1.5 million followers. Yeah, verified profile, or maybe Vogue UK or something. You know what I mean? But if just go local newspaper in your home country, they don't know any better. So just go and run the newspaper. Yeah, if you run.
So what is that you're going to put out there?
What?
What is that you're going to put out there?
So exactly. Based on individual circumstances, we'll come up with headline and everything, and then you're good to go. But I always tell people to come out with, even if it's like 6 pieces collection, just come out with something. And then you can even create an article based on that collection, saying so and so has brought out so and so collection, yo.
Thank you. You said this global stuff is not home. When you mentioned media, I thought media had to do with cameras too, yeah?
Photography. That photography one, I don't know. I'll have to research.
How do you say I have everything?
If you have them, it's all art, isn't it? But what kind of photography do you do?
Lifestyle,
It's,
What about makeup?
makeup, no, sorry. But the photography one is some. Do you know what? I normally call directly to the Arts and Fashion and Arts Council, so I will call them and find out for you. Is that okay? Because if you have everything and you meet everything and it's just a glitch, maybe they just missed that out. So we'll find out. Something I can call and find out. Anything else? No, don't do that. So that's everything. I mean. Please, you can meet me in my DMs, social media, or email.
Okay, how do we get in contact with you? Because
I'll get all my details.
for recommendations or questions. Because
So I charge a fee of £99 for a 1 hour consultation where I'll answer every single thing and give you a more personalized consultation based on your circumstance. I only do that for ads. Yeah, this is very nice. That's everything. Please, where is the suya? Everything is with you now. Yes, but my social media is Tare, my name, TARE _ Isaac, ISAAC. That's every global talent questions go through there.
Alright, so I have a question. Like, if you style me, how much you charge?
Style you for what?
wedding?
Actually, people have been asking me a lot of this question. Yeah, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you on the phone. Thank you. My Instagram. So it's Tare, Tare underscore. I've been an iPhone, I've been that long one. Now underscore. Then Isaac, ISAAC. You see my picture like that. It's right there, so that's me. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. All right, okay. Thank you very much for the insight you provided, and I believe the information is clear, and I believe so many questions have been answered. So like Uma said, enjoy yourself for the meantime, and ATINGAUK UK will, as usual, play some music for us with his magic fingers.
Okay.
And I believe we'll still listen to one or two person, like one person today. After that, we'll play some games and chill. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.